How y'all doing? Welcome to Trying Success here on the Old Fashioned Health Network. Good health inside and out. Y'all know I usually have a favorite social media person, so I got a new favorite social media person. Goes by the name G. Just I can't call him, but G, y'all. You want me to call him by his other government name? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Man, listen, I want the people to know this guy is, in my mind, internet sensation, social media, TikTok sensation. I think what drove me to want to interview you was some of your content. Well, a lot of your content, 'cause I've gone through it, is really, really good. And I think one of the shows you was talking about, people talking about reparations. And then you have
Right.
what you're gonna do with reparations and how you should handle it. You know, a lot of times people talk about reparation, but I don't think people really. If I got a check for a reparations check, and let's just say it's around $200,000, which we know that it's not gonna happen. I don't know exactly what I would.
It's not gonna happen.
That ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
I don't believe it's gonna happen.
What do you
That was the point of my TikTok.
What do you think about reparations?
Well, honestly, I feel like the only way that they would roll it out would be they would do it through digital currency, if anything, to where it could be controlled. And it's already something they want to roll out, but they won't roll it out unless it's through our community first, because we always gonna be the ones that they gotta teach and learn, get on board with everything. So if they ever did it, that's how they would do it. And it wouldn't be, I feel like it wouldn't be something to where it'd be like transferable, like meaning I don't believe they'll make it to a point where you can pass it down. It'll be tons of stipulations to it. Like, that's how I look at it. But outside of that, I don't think that we will ever get it,
Right.
because of the fact of where we are as a status as a community, as Black people. You know what I mean? So, I've seen on my TikTok, everybody kept saying, well, we won't get it because we not a nationality. Black is not a nationality, and everybody's not descendants of slaves, and yada, yada, yada. And so all of those points are valid. They very valid. But I just feel like it's deeper than that. I just feel like we're never going to get it. We never going to get it. If we ain't gotten it by this time, I don't believe we going to get it. It would have been my mom now generation that would have got it. You know what I mean?
I don't think we'll ever get it either, because I think if we were going to ever get it, we would have already had it by now. I might talk
Right.
if I can hear him a little bit more. I was telling him to turn. I'm sorry. So I can't do my whole podcast by myself anymore. I have to have a whole team now, because a long time ago, I was just a one man band, but
But that's growth. That's growth.
the whole team now. So I'm great. But before I get into we talking about reparations and quite a few things, I love listening to your content, man. You got some really good content, some good information, and
Appreciate it.
This thought-provoking type thing. It's like, think about that, and it's like you make people think. And I like content that where people are not just rambling. You usually come up with,
Right.
so what would you do? And you seem like you do some really good research to make it make sense for me to pay attention to what you're talking about. But before I go further into this, tell the people a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do and all those great things.
Oh, well, for the people who don't know me, my name's G. The list goes on what I really do, but in reality, a lot of people know me for doing music. On most of my social media platforms, I'm known as G the producer. And, but at the same time, I'm educated beyond just music, you know what I mean? So I felt like TikTok was my platform to highlight that. I got music on everything else. But, I'm a music producer. I run a recording studio, so I'm an audio engineer by trade.
Okay.
I have a lot going on. I have a multimedia company called Elite Media Group.
Okay.
Shout out to my homeboy Ron. That's my only business partner. But we do anything audio, visual, graphic design, from web pages down to logos. I mean, if you can use your eyes and ears, that's what we do. Okay. And in my day, I'm a caseworker for Section 8. I'm a Section 8 caseworker. So,
man, two different dynamics. I mean,
it It most definitely is.
And so,
It's Clark Kent and Superman.
so what do you do when you have had a long day dealing with people dealing with social needs, and then you come back and then you get into the studio and you making music and all that kind of stuff? How do you just turn it off and turn it back on to something else?
Well, I tell you, it's hard.
Okay.
But typically, I come home, I give myself a break. Like I sit and don't do nothing for at least an hour, because it's hard not to bring my job home with me, because I am a caring person. Like you said, I think a lot. I think about a lot of the things. Hell, even my job. It's part of my job conflicts with some of what I believe in, and some of the issues I see that I have TikToks that I see. I write all my TikToks out. Like you said, I research a lot of stuff before I just get on the phone and start blabbering off. But, it's just hard trying to cut it all off sometimes. But, I've been doing it for so long. It's just like a routine. I come home, I clear my mind for a second, and I call my client and tell him, hey, you ready? So it's like, I don't know how I do it. I've just developed it, I guess.
So,
For real.
let me ask you something. You have some really deep thoughts on about a lot of things. What do you see us as a culture of people and what we got going on in society right now? Like it seems like it's always a distraction. You got political distractions. You got mental distractions. You got racism as a distraction. And not that things are not actually happening, but what's your thoughts about that?
Well, the way I see where we are right now, man, I believe that we don't, you know how they say in the Bible, being lost in the wilderness? Mm-hmm. That's where we are right now. Because when you think about it, we have I won't say no leadership, but we have no true leadership for our people anymore. We had it once upon a time, but right now the people that's leading us, the people we look up to, are celebrities. They entertainers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you can look from the adults. We got adults that's following behind young entertainers. They want to be like these young, these grown black men. They want to be like the younger boys. And then you got grown black women that's acting like the younger entertainer girls. And then the kids, I don't know what they got to look up for inspiration. But right now, man, we need some help. We're in a tough position, and especially with the way that the politics are going, the world economy, it's a lot that we don't know as a race. And I feel like when everything hit the fan, we gonna be the ones left in the dust if we don't snap our minds out of what we giving our attention to and things like that. That's why, like you said, I'm always making thought-provoking things. I'm not here to tell nobody what to do, but it all starts with thinking. If you change the way you think,
right,
a lot of your situations and outcomes would be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
that whole thing with the one generation following after another, the older people trying to be younger and the younger one trying to be old. I think it's more, it's like, even for myself, for some reason, if we don't find a comfort level of who we are, then you're looking to try to be like a younger person, or like dying, just doing everything to look youthful. And then if you feel like you're not youthful enough, then you start feeling self-esteem. But for me, I'm always like, as far as the younger person that's behind me, I'm like, try to see if you can get here, because it's just as many people not getting here as it is people that's getting here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Where I am, because I know there was a time I didn't know I was gonna make it to be this age, or
right.
Every day, you got young. I saw it yesterday, and I sent sympathy out to those two young guys over the Memorial Day weekend that went to Morehouse, and they was in a tragic car accident. And these are young Morehouse kids, and so you don't. While somebody else is trying to be young, those young fellas didn't even get a chance to be older, So I think we got our society too busy trying to do what we see other people do and not reach within who you are as a person. People are not comfortable with who they are. And then we turn around, and then now we're looking for reparation. If you had reparation, how happy would you be?
How happy would you be? And that's And that's another thought-provoking thing about the reparation. Sometimes I look through my comments, like I just read the comments just to see where people's minds are. Like, okay, let's entertain the idea that we do get it, right? Let's entertain that idea.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I ain't no psychic, but I can almost tell you if we got reparations tomorrow, niggas will just be doing nigga stuff.
Right. Wouldn't be no different. Would not be no different.
It wouldn't be no different. Like, and that's not a shot at saying like I don't care or I talk bad about my own community. It's just I speak the truth about it because it's about bringing awareness to what's going on. It's no different than when people get income taxes, right?
That's my point.
Now think about people get income tax every year. Some of these females getting $10,000, $12,000.
Right.
And after the money gone or before the money even comes, they'll sit and tell you about all this stuff they want to do. Like, I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to do that. Then they get the 10 grand, 12 grand. With that kind of money at one time, it ain't much you can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But do they do it? Mm-mm.
They don't.
You see a bunch of nice clothes. You see a bunch of, seafood crab balls and.
All right, cookout. Did you put when NATO is the red button on right there?
So that's just the reality of things, and that's just 10 grand. Mm-hmm. Hell, we just had PPP, and I know a lot of people that finessed and frauded that, and niggas was getting $20,000, $40,000 at one time.
Right.
Broke 2 weeks later.
The thing about it is, it's like I said, well, what do we do with reparations? It's like you said, we're going to repeat the same cycle. You're not going to take it and invest it. You're not going to take. And I think they kind of know this. I think the powers to be know if we give them the money. So sometimes I think they're not going to do it, but sometimes I think about they'll be like, oh, what the hell? Let's go and do it because they're going to throw it away. They're going to put it back into the economy.
Put it back into the economy anyway.
Right. The wasteful stuff. They're not going to start shopping at Whole Foods where they can start eating better. They're not going to go get some work done, some health things they need to take care of. They're not going to, at least it seems like that. And we have a track record of not doing it because just like you mentioned, the income tax. They're not doing it.
Right.
Income tax. You know what I'm saying? They just getting the money and just doing nothing with it. So
spending it.
Reparations be a good question.
Spending it. And, I've even made that one. I don't know if you seen, I had a video where I talk about where we could be self-sufficient as a culture, as a race of people, right, through I called it like a minority tax program, as where, like I said, there's 48 million working adults in America, 18 to and older, right, working. Yeah. If you took $2 every week from 40 million people, that's $80 million a week.
That's right.
That could be generated, and you do that in a month, right?
Yeah.
There's and the cycle just continues. That's $320 million in a month, and so on and so forth and so forth. But in the same breath, them same $2, and I'm not saying all, but I just know a lot of us. They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna want to participate. They gonna want to understand where they getting their money back, and they don't trust other blacks. That's why you don't have a lot of black people with black banks. Right. It's just a thing within our community that we have to change, and it all starts with thought. And so that's why I always give people those options to think, because I mean we got the power to save ourselves, but
But you don't think it's going?
We don't believe in it.
You don't think
we don't believe in it. Yeah, we don't believe it.
So with what we knowing about our habits and we repeat our habits over and over again. We either throw it away, we don't do nothing with it, and we're not concerned about where we need to help. I'm concerned about just our health, the way we eat foods. That's kind of bothering me more than the
Yes.
That's like, did you see Who Cloned Tyrone? Did you see the movie?
I saw parts of it. I ain't gonna say I haven't seen it, but I saw parts of it. But I don't say I watched something unless I ingested it all. So
Okay.
I'm gonna just say no. But I've watched some of it.
So you won't. What I was thinking about, and that's commendable. You know, some people won't read the whole book before they comment on the book or try to get you to read it, and then you get
Right.
backlash. I ain't gotta call no. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And I'm sure that they probably regret doing that. But in Who Cloned Tyrone, there's a lot that talks about food and a lot of products that we use and how it affects the body. And my thing is, you can see on CNN and even on social media where it talks about chicken and fish and how fish has a lot of mercury in it, how chicken is cloned chicken, and then the fact that it's a carcinogenic type of food. And we hear this and we still refuse to change. I don't understand that. And you know, like I know my family watching this now. I'm not getting on. I know my family watching this. Like I'm just telling y'all, you know. So like when we have family reunion,
Right.
looking at me like we got you a bag of salad. Well, I paid the full amount for the family reunion, dudes. Y'all didn't charge me those salad prices.
Right. Right.
But we tend to know these things and we won't do it. So my brother, and he said this, but my brother be like, well, I gotta die from something. As long as I'm happy, you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh man, that comment right there is the one that lets me know where a lot of people are.
Right. I know my brother be hot, but he did say it, so you know.
That comment alone, like I can't stand that comment. Oh, we all got to die from something. I mean, I might as well keep doing. Man, just you don't want to live for your kids, for your family. You don't want to live a healthier life. You don't want to feel better. You want to look better. Like eating just is more than just gaining calories and weight, and it does what you ingest. It reflects in everything about you, your hair, your skin, like everything, you know.
I have a buddy of mine that works for the airline. This is a little gross story, but he said that there was a lady that went to the restroom on the plane. And he said, man, when she came...
Like number one or two.
Yeah. And he said when she came out of that restroom, it was horrible. He's like, man, it's like something died in the inside. I was like, that is just, and then, you know, it's like, and I know everybody's not gonna get there at the same time. This sounds so horrible. I know everybody's not gonna get there at the same time, but gee, man, at least, like you said, think about the people that might have to be here for you because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. You know?
Right.
So you got family members be like, okay, so it might not be that you might not just leave here like that. You might be suffering, and I don't want, you know what I'm saying? But I get it. Everybody can't get there at the same time. So I know my brother probably called me about this, but
Yep. Man. And this is like with my stepdad, right? He has type 2 diabetes, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's a common disease in our community. Mm-hmm. Especially type 2, because a lot of people don't know is type 2 diabetes. I wish they changed the name of it to what it really is. Mm-hmm. You know, really, type 2 diabetes should be called processed food disease.
I like that.
Because that's where it comes from. Mm-hmm. And it can be beat, but a lot of people don't have the knowledge of understanding how to beat it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I try to educate him on it. He in and out the hospital a lot. Sugar high, sugar too low. Sugar high, sugar too low. He'll stay on the diet, a certain diet for 2-3 days, and then, man, I can't keep eating that, man. I'm still hungry. Listen, your body creates new blood every 90 days. Mm. Mm-hmm. If you can abstain or keep on a certain diet for 90 days, after 90 days, it'll become a habit, for one. So, 30 days, it'll become a habit. But 90 days, every 90 days, your body creates new blood. Your bone marrow makes new blood every 90 days. Right. So you're almost like a new person as long as you're not filling it up with more toxins and more this and more carcinogens. And, you never stop it. But if you took a break from it, everything for 90 days, you will be a whole new person on the inside.
That's right.
Your organs will begin to heal themselves. Like, it's a lot that goes on with your blood. It's not, again, people look at everything from the surface.
Right.
It's like, it's just blood. But do you understand what's in blood? Do you understand how your other cells thrive and live? Because your blood carries oxygen in there. Your blood has all kinds of other minerals and things that your nutrients that your body needs. And so if that blood if it's contaminated with grease and cholesterol and all that stuff,
Fructose.
what do you think is going to happen to the rest of your organs? They're going to fail.
Right. You know, I think one of the best ways as far as handling that whole not eating right, and I try to tell people, just do fasting in moderation. Just fast, even if just a couple of hours, and then just work your way up, you know, to the point where you're like, okay, I kind of in a good place for it. I'm all right. You can't do it the same way everybody can do it, but I mean, that's another whole story. I think that's how the federal government, I think one of the ways for us to beat racism is beat our health issues first.
That starts there.
Just start there. If you beat your health issues, then your financial issues will start culminating together. And after a while, you get to the point where I don't have to have all the things I thought I needed. You know what I'm saying? Like you're
right.
It seems like sometimes when I've gone down and just look at some of your videos, like it seems like I know you. It's almost like beating a dead horse when you be trying to teach our people about how to do different things, how it could be better, and it could almost get frustrating, you know. And it's like that's why I like your content so much. So. Like, yeah, I like,
you know,
and you have fun stuff on there. Y'all don't want y'all to think all this stuff is serious.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you know, I'm more than just dropping knowledge. You know, I'm a whole character, man. I've done acting, I've done stand up, I've done a lot of stuff outside of just music and dropping knowledge. So it's like I'm still a normal person, you know. But at the same time, I'm an aware person, and I'm just not one of those people that hear information. Know it, like it's in my head, like, oh man, chicken is cloned and it has this and that in it. It's a carcinogenic meat, and I still eat it.
Right.
I'm just not that kind of person. Not saying I don't eat chicken, because anybody that know me know I'm a chicken head. But you know, I can eat chicken all day. But like you were saying, the whole thing with fasting, you know, you'll be amazed of what you can ingest as long as you're not just nonstop consuming it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to me, it's like it gets frustrating, but the thing that satisfies me the most, like I can have 100,000 people like a video. If 5,000 or 200, let's say 200 people actually took something away from that video and changed, that's enough to start a wildfire. All it takes to start a wildfire is one match.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
One match. So, you know, it gets frustrating, and maybe you don't receive the message from me the way you'll receive the message from James that watched the video, you know, or Rebecca watched the video and now she's translating the information to you. Maybe, you know, but as long as the information gets out there and somebody ingests it, and that's enough for me. So that's the only way I keep from getting frustrated, because I wouldn't keep making videos at that point. Like, y'all don't want to hear this.
So let me ask you this, and then I won't hold you too much longer. They're talking about COVID coming back. They keep, they're talking about COVID. I lost my roommate from college to COVID last year when it was going on, and I took the first one set of shots, and that's pretty much it. You know, it's been.
So how did you feel like the shot was effective, or like how did you feel about that?
So I'm gonna have to tell you, for me, it wasn't effective for me as far as I could tell, because I had COVID before the shots came out, and when I had COVID, all I had was a fever like that was 102, 103, just off and on for like 9 days straight. Then I ate everything in my house. I could not stop eating. I didn't lose my sense of taste, smell, anything like that. But I just ate. I just kept eating. So it
Right.
didn't, so I think I think my fever being raised was fighting off whatever was going on. And I understand, a lot of times when you have a fever, you're fighting the virus, right? But yet
Right.
take Tylenols to lower the fever. It's like, okay, now which one of these you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Either you're gonna be strong enough to let the fever do what it do, unless your fever is 103 and then you start getting hallucinations and stuff like that. But if you have a fever, I think it's best to let your fever do what it's doing, which is protecting your body, as opposed to taking
Right.
Tylenols and think you help yourself. So to answer your question, I can't see where taking the shot helped me. And let me tell you, so now I'm in my family think I'm just going in on them. My sister actually flew here from Boston. And she came by the studio for a little while. I was like, okay. She came by the studio, sat down. So tell me about this vaccine. Are you gonna take it or what? I was like, listen, I mean, not right now, but like she's like, but you just gotta take it. If something happens, I was like, let me tell you this. I'm taking one just so you can be satisfied. I'm not taking
Right.
and that was it. And I think we had COVID about two or three times I had COVID, but it wasn't like I didn't lose my taste, smell, sense, anything like that. And I would urge the people that's listening to this. Now, I'm not telling you not to take anything, but I am telling you to understand your body. Understand what you're
Right.
going to do. And you know what you can. You already know you got asthma and you already have diabetes and you suffer from all these kind of things. You need to take something to help you. But
Right.
doing the things you're supposed to do and you're in pretty good shape. I mean, for me, I just fought it out,
I had COVID 5 times.
And it wasn't bad, was it?
The first 3 times, I had no idea I had it.
Wow.
So it was just, I take that back. Before they labeled it COVID, right? This was, I was in Chicago. This was like 2020. It was 2020, but it was before they labeled it COVID. Mm-hmm. I went up there to help a cousin move. And before I got there, she was telling me like, I don't know what's going on with me because I just feel real sick. I've been thinking about going to the hospital. So I'm like, well, I'm on the highway. I'll be there in the next 3 hours. So if you there, can you just, leave the key? That way I can just start packing up the truck, yada, yada, yada. So she goes to the hospital. She comes home. I'm like, so what they say? She like, well, they really didn't say. They just said it was kind of like the flu, or I kind of had like a mild case of pneumonia. But I feel like I feel horrible. So I pack her up. I come home. I get home, Alvin. I'm telling you, at first I thought I was dying. Right, and this is before the scare of what before they labeled it anything.
Okay.
And so I just I'm not a big medicine taker. You know what I'm saying? So I loaded up on zinc, and my family they deep in the South and they Choctaw Indian, and so they got a lot of remedies and stuff. So I took no medication at that time.
Okay.
But 2 days later, I was back normal. After that, they labeled it COVID. I had it 5 times. The first 3 times, had no idea I had it. Just got tested because I was around somebody, and I'm like, well, it was already scary at that time. They was making it seem like if you caught it, it was just a death sentence.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I need to go to the hospital because, man, buddy had it. So I ain't feel like nothing, but I'm like, I just want to go make sure everything good.
Right.
Positive. So I'm like, damn. So they asking me all these questions, like, how do I feel and where was I at and all of this stuff. So I quarantine. I go, get retested, negative, repeat over 2 more times, positive, same way. The last 2 times, I didn't know I had it that one time was because my taste and smell went away.
Okay.
And I thought I was tripping, but that was it. I wasn't sick feeling. I wasn't running a fever.
Right.
I was perfectly fine. I think I went and hooped that day. I think I went and played ball that day. I got up and it didn't hit me that I wasn't tasting anything until we went and played ball, and I went to drink my Gatorade, and it's one of my favorite Gatorades, the green apple one. And man, it just was like water. And I'm like, man, I'm not tasting anything. And the same with the smell. I couldn't smell, and that lasted for like a month.
Wow.
So, but the thing with the shot, like my mom got the shot. The next day after her shot, she got rushed to the hospital, passed out, hyperventilating.
What?
Yeah. She got it one day, and the next day, we had to call 911 for her because she passed out and was hyperventilating. She couldn't breathe. And mind you, she never had COVID. She never had it, but she's older, so she just took the shot. And yeah, I was cool on that since that day. They could keep it.
Yeah, we we're not trying to tell nobody what to do. We just talk about our own experiences.
Right.
And that's all I'm doing. Gee, when are you gonna come to Atlanta so you can sit in the studio and we have one?
Oh man, I can come to Atlanta. So my birthday's this month, right? On the 25th.
Okay.
Even though I'll be at work, that's a Monday. But that following weekend though, I could come. That's the 28th. Or I can come in October.
Okay.
When I finally get some more of my PTO that I ain't gonna use until the end.
Well, look, so I'm a big football fan of my alma mater. Went to school at Jackson State, so you can't come doing homecoming unless you're going to homecoming.
Hey, I go to Jackson State's homecoming.
Man, it'd be awesome.
I go to any HBCU's homecoming.
I know, right? That's another whole conversation we could talk about, man.
Yeah, I go to any.
So you had an experience that you'd already been.
Oh yeah, see, we got Central State here.
Okay.
We got Wilberforce and Central State, so we got 2 HBCUs here in Dayton.
Okay.
So it's always jumping.
Yeah.
Always jumping there.
Yeah. If you are a PWI and you want to keep your football player, don't bring him doing homecoming because he's not.
Well, nah, I ain't got no football friends.
So look, before I close out, is there any particular projects you're working on right now you want to share with the people or anything?
Yes. So, and this is gonna be a major one, and I know I'm gonna ruffle a lot of feathers with this, but this has been months and months and months of research. But I am about to drop a series on TikTok about decoding the Bible. Ooh. And yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty interesting. A lot of people will learn a lot. A lot of people will become self-empowered as well.
Okay.
And it's also gonna make you think. But it's so much to that. That's why I have to release it as a series. It's nothing I can do in a 3-minute video. It's not enough time. So but
when can we expect it? Are you still in works, or you got a?
I thought about starting shooting it soon, like the next couple days.
Okay.
Because I feel like I got enough to at least start.
Okay.
But as I'm shooting the series, I'll just keep add more to it. But yeah, so it'll most definitely be this month. More than likely next week. So y'all could be on the lookout for that. And outside of that, I'm just working on a lot of artists and, producing their music, but that's neither here nor there. That's just stuff that I do, as far as work. But as far as what, TikTok, that's the next thing that I'll be dropping is that.
Well, let's try, man, to get together. If you can, I would love for you, once you drop it, if you come to Atlanta, that'd be cool, and we can kind of dissect. I'll have plenty of questions for you about that. I'll definitely watch the series and then kind of understand what it is that the message you're trying to get across. A lot of people, they have a problem with. I have a problem with religion. I really. I'm not a religious person. I'm more of a spiritual person, so I have a problem with.
Exactly.
And I have a problem with it when it's used to control.
And that's what it is. And look, you hitting the nail on the head. You giving them a taste of what it's about, because that's all they're about.
Right.
That's all they're about. It's about, taking the sheep and herding them. You know, it's just laws. It's just another way of governance.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so now within that governance, there's a lot of, real spiritual stuff. But, again, once I release it, people will then see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to start from the beginning. So Book of Genesis is where I'm starting. And I'm going to go from the Old all the way through New Testament, and hitting different bullet points, So it should be interesting. Hell, I'm excited myself. Like some of the stuff I've been finding, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
One of the things that stands out to me when you start talking about God and spirituality and religion, I mean, it's like, why would you believe that God will hurt me because I don't do a certain thing? You know what I'm saying? It's like a scare tactic. I mean, this is God.
It is.
It's not going to do nothing to hurt me. Now I'll be taught. Now I might can do something like my car drives 160 miles an hour and I just stomp it myself. That's me hurting myself. It's not necessarily saying God said, Alvin, don't drive that car 160 miles an hour.
Or
you do.
God said that was your day to go that day. No, I did that. I did that.
Yeah, I did 160 miles an hour. Coming down, then I'm gonna say, well, God took me away. No, I if you got free will and your will is to drive 160 miles an hour on a bit, that's your will to suffer the consequences behind what happened. But sometimes give God such a bad name. I was like, y'all, if I was God, I'd be like, look, Nick, you need to stop. Don't be using me like that. I didn't tell you.
Yeah, I that wasn't me. Listen, that wasn't me, dog.
Right.
But just I don't want to dive too much into it, but just to give you an insight of pretty much where I'm going with that series, the whole phrase, which was sparked it, the synopsis for me was the book says we're made in his image and his likeness, right?
Right.
Nobody deciphers those two words or sees them differently, nor does anybody think about the concept of Old English speech and what, image and likeness means, right? So not just people are made in I'm going to say its image and likeness, but everything. So if you see a dog, a cat, a bird, a fish, a goat, a tree, anything that's alive is in its image and in its likeness, meaning like it, like you. So we're not duplicates, we're replicas. So a replica, you know what a replica is? A replica looks real. It operates the same. It does all the things. It's just not the original stamped, the original thing. And we are that. Like I tell people all the time, you are the God that you pray to. And a lot of people can't grasp that concept.
Especially, if you're going to read the Bible and believe what it says, and it said we're made in his own image, why are you having a hard time accepting that I'm just like God? What part of it are you just not connecting, And then
your body heals itself. It heals itself. The stories of, all the stories, Jesus healing people, God healing people. Well, think about you. You can break a bone today. Who healed it? Your body did. Mm-hmm. You have, like we were just talking about the fever. Did God send that fever to you, or did you do it? You did it. Right?
Yeah, because he made my body be able to do what it needs to do.
Exactly. How does your body regulate your temperature? When you cold, it knows how to warm up. When you're hot, it knows how to sweat to cool you off.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, G, you gonna have some people be like, they're gonna have questions, and I think you're gonna have questions because people have done the same thing for so long until wrong looks like right. That's in it. Mm-hmm. It's like, you really think this is right? Like, just I think if our people would just open their eyes and just to say this, when you hear people that look like, when they say woke people, they talking about Black people.
They talking about black people.
They talking about-
I mean, the gig is up. The gig is up. You know, we already know it. We know who y'all talking about.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about. Just go on and say Alvin, a comment in or whatever you gonna say. But then, we woke. Now you came up with a
The woke community.
right.
I know who you talking about.
Man, I cannot wait till you do this series. You got to promise me you're going to come back on my podcast so we can talk.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man. And please stay in touch, man. Thank you so very much. Tell people about
But
your
I appreciate you having me on, man. Honestly.
About your social media, how they can reach you and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah. So if you looking for me on TikTok, you can find me under G the Genius. So G is one word. The Genius is one word. So G the Genius on TikTok. Facebook, you can find me under G the Producer. Same concept, G the Producer. On Facebook, Instagram. Those are the only ones I utilize anyway. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm just getting new to Snapchat, but I barely use it. You know. So it's like, yeah, G the Genius on TikTok, G the Producer on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. And, you know, I'm an open person, so I don't deny friend requests. I don't do any of that. So as long as I got space and they keep letting me accept friends, hell, I'll take you.
And y'all know what? I just got to say this part right here. G has about, how many followers you have on TikTok? Is it like 30? How many?
70,000 and counting.
And get this, now I ain't even got 100. I don't even have 1,000. So go down to earth. Like I hit him up. Hey man, I would love to interview without thought. But there are some influencers, man. They got 14,000. They think like I don't have time. You're like, man, if you don't book by the cover of them having 500 or 600 followers, you have no idea.
It's a facade.
What they're doing.
It's a facade.
Yeah, it is a facade.
You know.
You're right.
They just followers. Somebody liked the video once or twice, and now they hit the little follow button. You know, I don't get caught up in that stuff, man. I just appreciate people watching the content. You know, that's why I don't let it get to my head.
Right.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Even people in the street see me and be like, "Man, you jumping on TikTok, man? You should be doing this and that." And listen, it don't make or break me, man. I'ma just keep dropping what I drop, trying to get these messages and points across so our people can think different and we can become a better community to each other and for each other. And that's all it is.
Yes.
You know.
The next time we talk. I want to talk about voting and what your thoughts are.
Oh man.
So you know what? I tell y'all, this is part one. Gee, we're going to do part two. I'm not going to do another TikTok until I do part two with you, okay? That's work?
I bet. I'm with you on that.
Y'all stay tuned for part two.
I'm with you on that.
That will be coming up. Hopefully I can get G next week. We can do it if he's available, whatever time we got. And then we'll do part two, and we're going to be talking about voting.
Voting.
I'm not even going to.
Voting. Oh, Al, you on one right there, man. Voting.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch. And y'all, thank y'all for listening to Trying Success here on the Old Fashioned Health Network. Good health inside and out.